Picture this. You walk into a store, could be Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, doesn't matter, and you see two robot vacuums sitting right next to each other on the shelf. One is $199. The other is $999. And honestly, at first glance, they look almost identical. Same round shape, same app control, same big promise printed right there on the box. Cleans your entire home while you relax. So you stand there thinking, why would anyone spend 5 times more money on something that looks exactly the same? And that thought makes complete sense. It's a reasonable question. You're not wrong for asking it. But here's where things get tricky, and this is the part most buyers never figure out until after they've already made the purchase and gone home disappointed. In this category, what you see on the box is not what you get at home. And retailers know this. They've built entire marketing systems around it. You'll find exclusive model numbers at certain stores that quietly hide downgraded internal parts. You'll see smart mapping, advertised on budget models where the mapping barely functions in a real home. And the showroom demos? Those are almost always run on polished floors, with no furniture, no cables on the ground, no pet hair, no real-world mess at all. It's like being shown a sports car, but only ever driving it downhill with the wind at your back. That's the gap. And that's why so many people, budget shoppers especially, end up frustrated after thinking they found a deal. Today we're going through 9 major robot vacuum brands you'll find at Amazon, Walmart, Costco, and Best Buy. We're ranking them from the worst traps to the ones that are actually worth your money. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what separates a $200 machine from a $1,000 one, and whether that difference actually matters for your home. Let's get into it. Number 9. UFE, Entry-Level RoboVac Series. You'll see this one absolutely everywhere in budget listings online. It shows up constantly on Amazon. It gets recommended in forum threads, and on paper, the specs look reasonable for the price. But here's what the listing doesn't tell you. The cheaper UFI models, the ones most people are actually buying when they see that low price, don't use real LiDAR mapping. And that matters more than almost any other spec on the page. Without LiDAR, the vacuum isn't building a picture of your home. It's not learning where the couch is or remembering that there's a step between your kitchen and living room. Instead, it moves in a random pattern, bouncing off walls and furniture, hoping it eventually covers the whole floor. The suction is weak compared to anything in the mid-range. On carpet, it's noticeably underpowered. Along edges and corners, the spots where dust and debris actually collect, it misses constantly. And the thing is, people who buy Eufy's budget models often say the same thing. When they leave reviews, they'll say something like, "It's fine, it's simple, it does the job." But then buried at the bottom, they mention that it keeps missing entire rooms, which means it's not doing the job. Not really. The verdict on UFI entry level: it looks clean on paper. It doesn't clean your home properly. Number 8. iLife A Series. The iLife A Series is the old-school Amazon bestseller that has somehow refused to go away for years. And you can understand why it still sells. The price is low, it's available everywhere, and it has thousands of reviews that give it decent scores. But look closer at those reviews, and you'll start to see the pattern. This is extremely basic bump-and-go navigation. There is no smart mapping here at all. The vacuum moves until it hits something, then it turns and moves again. It has no structured cleaning path. It cannot remember your floor plan. It doesn't connect to any meaningful app experience. The dustbin is small, which means if you have a larger home or a pet, you'll be emptying it constantly, sometimes mid-clean. For a tiny apartment, maybe 500 square feet with almost no furniture on the floor, fine, it'll get the job done. But the moment you have a real home with multiple rooms and any kind of complexity, the iLife A Series starts to fall apart. The verdict? This works like a robot vacuum from another decade, because in many ways, it is. Number 7. Shark IQ Entry Models. Shark is a name people trust. You've seen it at Walmart, you've seen it on TV, and the branding is genuinely solid. The packaging looks premium. The product photos look premium. And then you get it home. The mapping performance on Shark's Entry IQ models is inconsistent in a way that's hard to predict. Some people set it up, and it works reasonably well. Others find it getting stuck in the same spot repeatedly, failing to complete a full clean, or losing its map entirely after a software update. The software itself feels like it wasn't finished before it shipped. There are features in the app that sound impressive but don't behave reliably in regular use. Buyer sentiment on Shark is interesting because people genuinely like the brand name. They want it to work. But when you read through enough reviews, the reliability issues keep coming back up. Getting stuck more than expected, navigation errors, inconsistent results from one clean to the next. The verdict on Shark IQ entry models: it feels premium in the store. It behaves budget at home. Number 6. Roborock E4 and Entry S Series. Now things start to get interesting, and this is also where Roborock as a brand starts entering the picture. The E4 and the entry-level S Series from Roborock are genuinely good at the thing robot vacuums are supposed to do first, which is suction. The cleaning power here is noticeably stronger than anything in the bottom 3. On hard floors, it's effective. On low-pile carpet, it handles itself well. The app is solid. Roborock's software ecosystem is one of the better ones in this space, even at this price point. But here's where the limitations show up. There's no advanced object avoidance. The navigation is a step up from the random bounce-and-go machines below it, but it's still not the intelligent precision mapping you get from Roborock's higher models. And some of the features that make Roborock genuinely impressive, the ones that actually make you feel like the robot knows your home, those are still missing here. The verdict: solid cleaning power for the price, but the intelligence layer is still missing. Number 5. iRobot Roomba 600 and 694 series, the classic Roomba. This is the one your parents probably bought. This is the one that made robot vacuums a household concept in the first place. And look, there's a reason people trusted iRobot for so many years. The hardware on these older Roomba series is genuinely durable. These things survive longer than a lot of competitors. If you run one of these for 3 or 4 years, it holds up. But the navigation is showing its age in a way that's hard to ignore now. There's no smart mapping in the 600 series. The cleaning pattern is random. It moves across your floor in an unstructured way, which means it might clean the same corner 4 times and never touch the middle of your bedroom. The efficiency just isn't there. Trusted brand, durable machine, but the cleaning logic, it's guessing its way through your home, and at this price point in today's market, that's not enough anymore. The verdict on the Roomba 600 series: built like a tank, cleans like it's guessing. All right, let's take a breath here, because this is the moment most buyers miss. Most robot vacuums in the $200 to $400 range are not bad products. They're not broken, they're not poorly made, they're just missing the intelligence layer that makes automation actually feel like automation. And here's the piece that retailers really don't explain clearly. A lot of models at Amazon, Walmart, and Costco are exclusive SKUs. Same brand name, same product name on the box, but different internal sensors, weaker navigation systems, smaller batteries. You think you're buying the version you saw reviewed on YouTube. You're actually buying a downgraded version, made specifically for that retailer at that price point. And the demos don't help. A lot of showroom and video demos are running these machines on polished hard floors with nothing on them, or on pre-cleaned carpet, or on a turbo mode that would drain the battery in 30 minutes in your actual home. If this already saved you from a bad robot vacuum deal, hit subscribe, The next four brands completely change the game. Number 4. Roborock Q Series, Q5 and Q7 Max. Now we're entering the real smart vacuum category. The Roborock Q Series is where LiDAR mapping stops being a checkbox on a spec sheet and starts being something you actually feel when you use the product. The mapping accuracy on the Q5 and the Q7 Max is noticeably better than anything below it on this list. When the vacuum leaves its dock, it knows your floor plan. It cleans in structured, efficient rows rather than wandering around. It handles multi-floor homes with real multi-floor map support. And the suction is strong, genuinely strong, across both carpet and hard floors. The app experience here is also where Roborock's software investment starts to pay off. You can set room-specific cleaning schedules. You can tell it to do the kitchen twice. You can block off zones where you don't want it to go. The one area where the Q Series still has room to grow is object avoidance in the mid-range. It handles large obstacles fine, but smaller items on the floor, socks, cables, small toys, can still cause issues depending on the model. But the verdict on the Q Series is clear. This is the first vacuum on this list that actually feels like a system rather than a toy. Number 3. iRobot Roomba i3 and i5 series. This is the turning point for Roomba. The i series is where iRobot introduced real smart mapping into the Roomba lineup. And the difference between this and the 600 series below it is not incremental. It's a genuine step change. The cleaning patterns are structured now. The vacuum builds a map of your home. It cleans in organized rows, and it remembers where it's been. You can set room boundaries in the app. You can tell it to focus on specific areas. The reliability history here is also worth noting. iRobot has been in this market longer than almost anyone, and the i series reflects that experience. The hardware is consistent. The software updates have been stable. The cleaning performance holds up over time in a way that some competitors still struggle with. Where it loses ground to Roborock is in coverage efficiency. The Roborock Q Series and S Series tend to cover the same square footage in less time and with fewer redundant passes. The Roomba i Series gets the job done, but it's not the leanest path from start to finish. The verdict: reliable intelligence, but not the most efficient cleaner on the market. Number 2, Roborock SE7 and S8 series. This is where cleaning becomes seriously advanced. The SE7 introduced sonic mopping, an actual vibrating mop pad that scrubs hard floors rather than just dragging a damp cloth across them. That's a real difference if you have tile or hardwood that needs more than just a vacuum pass. The S8 upgraded obstacle avoidance meaningfully. The cameras and sensors on the S8 allow it to recognize and navigate around objects that would stop cheaper vacuums completely: cables, small toys, shoes left in a doorway. The S8 handles these situations with a level of confidence that earlier models couldn't match. The mapping on the S series is precise. The suction is strong. The adaptive cleaning, where the vacuum detects carpet and automatically increases suction, works the way it's supposed to. People who own Roborock SE7 or S8 models consistently describe them as the best all-around robot vacuum they've ever used. Not the loudest, not the flashiest, but the one that actually does what it says it'll do every single day without needing much from you. The verdict? The closest thing to true set and forget cleaning that you can get in this category. Number 1. iRobot Roomba Combo J9 Plus and flagship models. The most complete system you can buy right now. And notice the word system, because that's what separates the J9 Plus from everything else on this list. It's not just a vacuum. It's not just a mop. It's a coordinated home cleaning system with a level of software intelligence and long-term support that no competitor has fully matched. The object avoidance technology on the J9 Plus is the most advanced in consumer robot vacuums. It can identify and avoid pet waste, not just steppy around a sock, but actually recognize and dodge something that would be a disaster if it ran through it. If you have pets, that feature alone changes the entire ownership experience. The auto-empty dock means you genuinely don't need to think about the vacuum for weeks at a time. It cleans, it empties itself, it goes back to the dock. You check in when you feel like it. The navigation is highly reliable, not flashy, reliable. It rarely gets stuck. It rarely loses its map. It rarely requires you to intervene. And the software support from iRobot is long-term in a way that matters. 3 years from now, the J9 Plus will still be getting updates, still be compatible with smart home systems, still be performing at the level you paid for. Now, and this is worth saying clearly, the J9 Plus is not the most powerful machine on a pure specs comparison. If you put it head-to-head with the Roborock S8 on raw suction numbers or mopping performance, Roborock often wins those specific categories. But the J9 Plus wins on something harder to measure: the dependability of the overall experience. From unboxing to daily use to what happens 6 months from now, it's the most consistently trustworthy system in the category. The verdict? Not the most powerful on every single spec, the most dependable experience you can buy. Before the conclusion, here are the 3 takeaways that cut through everything we just covered. First, most budget robot vacuums don't fail because of suction. They fail because of navigation. A machine that moves randomly through your home will never clean as well as a machine with a structured map, even if the random one has stronger suction. Efficiency matters more than power in this category. Second, 2 robot vacuums with identical names can behave completely differently depending on which retailer you bought them from. Exclusive SKUs are real. Downgraded versions of popular models exist specifically to hit a lower price point at a specific store. Before you buy, look up the exact model number and verify it matches the version that was reviewed. Third, once you cross the $500 mark, you're not really buying more cleaning power anymore. You're buying automation intelligence. You're buying the part that actually lets you stop thinking about your floors. That's the real value shift, and it's the one the box never explains clearly. So when you strip everything back, the gap between a $200 robot vacuum and a $1,000 one isn't really about suction power. It's not about battery life. It's not even about the brand name on the front. It's about intelligence. At the low end of this market, you're buying a machine that guesses its way around your home. It moves, it bounces, it tries. And sometimes it does a reasonable job, but it's not learning. It's not mapping. It's not building a picture of where it's been and where it still needs to go. At the high end, you're getting systems that actually know your floor plan. They avoid the things they're supposed to avoid. They clean in organized paths. They remember from one run to the next. And the best ones, the Roborock S8 and the iRobot J9 Plus, they handle the unexpected things that come up in a real home. The cable that got left out, the pet toy in the doorway, the room you don't want cleaned today. And that's the real breakdown when you look at all 10 of these brands together. The bottom tier is cheap tools that miss spots and call it a clean. The middle tier is decent machines with partial intelligence, good enough for some homes, frustrating in others. And the top tier is fully coordinated cleaning systems that actually earn the word automatic. But here's the most important truth from everything we covered today. The problem isn't that cheap robot vacuums are bad products. The problem is that they're marketed as something they're not. At Amazon, at Walmart, at Costco, you'll see budget models advertised with the same language as premium ones. Smart mapping, auto detect, whole home cleaning. And technically, some version of those features exists, just not a version that works reliably in your actual home. So the smartest buyers in this category aren't the ones who spend the most money. They're the ones who know exactly which version they're actually getting, and whether that version can actually deliver on what the box is promising. If you're currently looking at a robot vacuum and you're not sure whether you're looking at a smart buy or a trap, drop the model number in the comments below. I'll tell you straight whether it's worth it or whether you're about to be disappointed. And if this breakdown saved you from wasting your money today, you'll probably want to stick around because the next comparison we're doing gets into territory that's even messier than this one.